You're listening to Hotep Ish with your host, Dewan B. Intelligent Ish Talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
Welcome. We are here live on a Wednesday afternoon. Thank y'all for joining me as I roll my blunt and get ready to smoke with y'all and talk to y'all. So, hey, I'm not on camera today, but I'm back here. So roll up your shit, all right? Roll up your weed. If you at work, yo bad. I'm not. Well, I am at work. I'm talking to y'all. But I made sure that my work was designed around me being able to smoke weed anytime I want while I'm at work. So yeah, welcome. We about to talk about this whole situation with Kevin Hart. I just saw this video. Let me turn on some better music. There we go. Let me turn on some chill music. Let me turn this down. Make sure I'm turn my mic up a little bit so I ain't got to talk too loud. There we go. So Kevin Hart says people in the front of the hood are not smart enough to open up bank accounts. When I saw this, I had to come live to y'all. I was gonna talk about something else today. In fact, I was gonna have an interview, but that got canceled. I'm gonna meet with Jade tomorrow on here. Y'all get to meet with Lioness Crowned, see what she been up to. She'll be on with us tomorrow. Quick change of plans. So she'll be with us tomorrow. So in the meantime, I saw this thing pop up on my timeline on Twitter, and I said, "Oh hell nah." Let's talk about this. How is some nigga that ain't never offered nothing for us to think about in his stand-up comedy, in his art, in his entertainment, how is he gonna have something to say about the hood? Before we even go there, well, again, welcome chat room. I appreciate y'all for joining me. I always appreciate y'all for joining. DewanB.com. This is the last week to sign up for my cardology course, the full semester. After this, it'll be too much for you to catch up to. You'll have to join us next time around. So if you want to join the full course, or if you don't want to join the full course, you want the introductory course to see if you want to like it or not, email me. Teach you how to read playing cards. I'm not trying to hold this science to myself. I want to let all you niggas know how to do what I do. So again, welcome. Let me play the video. Start off by playing the video of what we talking about here. And then we gonna get into it. All right, let's start off by the video so you can see what I saw. And when you see what I saw, you can then be like, oh, that's what I saw. Let's see what this nigga's talking about. Hold on. Let me see here. Y'all see here? So here we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
If you look in the hood, there's liquor stores and check cashing places. You know why? Because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. They're going to get a check, they're going to cash it, and it's a liquor store right next to it. Let's just put that around them. Let's also put a bunch of shit that's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor. It's not until you understand that you get out. If you look in the hood.
This is why it's not advisable for, I'm not saying Kevin Hart isn't intelligent. He's obviously intelligent. In order for him to make that many people laugh, he's an intelligent dude. But this is what happens when you speak outside of whatever relative intelligence that you have. This is what happens when you start talking and don't know what the fuck you talking about. And I know this video is going to get back to Kevin Hart because I know a lot of people who know Kevin Hart who are cool with him. And a lot of y'all, it's a lot of professional ass kissers out there who are smiling in your face. But then the minute they got some tea with somebody in Hollywood as a celebrity, they'll be the first ones to be like, hey, look at what he's saying. So I'm saying this with full knowledge that this will get back to Kevin Hart. And I'm sure it'll get misinterpreted by whoever, because he ain't gonna sit here and watch this whole video. So someone's gonna run their mouth and it'll get misinterpreted what I'm saying, yada yada yada. I don't care, because when it comes down to it, I love black people, man, and there's no celebrity. And I know, like, and y'all know, look, this comes at great, professional risk to me, because I'm a comedian. I crack jokes. Sometimes I do Quake's house radio show for Earthquake, and that's down at Kevin Hart studio. I've been down in Kevin Hart studio at least 24 times doing something down there. So I appreciate him and what he does, but this ain't it. You know what I mean? I don't care about my opportunity. What's me for me? Can't no fucking human close no door for me, goddammit. So I'm not afraid to talk about none of these niggas, especially when they make general statements about black people and about the hood. And make no mistake, the perception is about black people, because the term hood is synonymous with black people, even though we aren't the ones that create the conditions that go into it. We're not the only people in hoods, but that word is associated with us. So I'm gonna play this again, and then we're gonna break this all the way down. Let me play this one more time all the way through, and then we're gonna break it down section by section.
If you look in the hood, there's liquor stores and check cashing places. You know why? Because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. They're going to get a check, they're going to cash it, and it's a liquor store right next to it. Let's just put that around them. Let's also put a bunch of shit that's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor. It's not until you understand that you get out. If you look in the hood, there's liquor stores and check cashing places. You know why? Because they know that the
red fish, blue fish, white fish, new fish. Nigga trying to sound smart. You sound dumb as fuck. First off, let's start from the end and bring it back to the beginning. Nigga, you don't build credit. You don't build having a bank account And a debit card doesn't build credit, fool. It's called a debit card. Let's go back to the end. This last part he said. Then I'm going to go back to the obvious part. But let's start at the end.
That's how we want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash. That's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor.
Gaining credit. The people I know with the best credit oftentimes are cash driven. Spending money with cash and having good credit are mutually exclusive. One has nothing to do with the other. If you get your paycheck direct deposited in a bank account, or if you cash your paycheck, has nothing to do with your credit. You build your credit by getting credit cards. And Kevin Hart is the face of Chase Bank. Chase Bank don't give out no fucking credit cards to they customers like that. You could have pristine credit and not get a Chase card. I know, shit. I remember one time applying for a Chase Sapphire credit card. Nigga, my credit score was goddamn 723, and I still didn't get no goddamn Chase Sapphire. And I've been banking with them since I don't know how long. So, point number one, Kevin Hart, having a checking account or having a bank account ain't got a goddamn thing to do with credit. Do you know the difference between credit and debit? Let's hear it for Kevin Hart. For this just in case one of Kevin Hart people will see this shit. The difference between credit and debit. Let's go, Kevin Hart. What's the difference? When you use a debit card, the funds for the amount of your purchase are taken from your checking account almost instantly. When you use a credit card, the amount will be charged to your line of credit, meaning you will pay the bill at a later date, which also gives you more time to pay. See the difference, Kevin Hart? Maybe you need to read this. Go to investopedia.com before you sit in front of white folks and sound like a goddamn fool again. That's one thing I don't like. See, niggas get in front of white folks and then become the smartest, dumbest niggas on earth, don't they? It's like you get in front of white folks, the plebiscite babbling just goes to another level. God damn. Niggas know everything when they get in front of white folks, don't they? This nigga, hold on, let's go back. This nigga was he really thought he was saying something on this last part.
We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven. That's how we keep the poor poor. It's not until you understand that you get out. If you don't want you to cash available, bunch of shit that's easy and cash available. We don't want you to gain credit. We want you to be cash driven.
See, that's what happens. You'll take a slight truth and fuck it all the way up. Do they want us to gain credit? No, they don't want us to gain. They rather we not know and gain credit. Kevin Hart, you're right about that. So what they'll do is they'll use a puppet like yourself to speak, knowing good and the hell well you don't know the difference between cash and credit, to continue misinforming the people and misleading the people. Because the people that they put in leadership positions, the people that get a microphone to say what they want to say whenever they want to say it, are a bunch of dumb motherfuckers that ain't got shit to say. And to shit on the people in the hood, knowing that you yourself as a comedian, Kevin Hart, has spent zero time uplifting and educating through your comedy. Yes, I'm going there. And I'm gonna get back to the we're gonna go all the way through this video. It's a short one. But let's think about this when it comes to the pantheon of great comics. Richard Pryor, Dick Gregory, Bernie Mac, Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle. There's always a little bit of truth and a little bit of game dropped in what's being said. Kevin Hart ain't that nigga. He's never used his platform to educate, to help change the perception of how things go on. He's never one time used his platform for any of that. It's always these niggas that don't use their platform to uplift us that be the most critical of us, ain't it? You watch an Eddie Griffin stand-up special, you gonna learn something. You watch Katt Williams, you gonna learn something. You watch Dave Chappelle, you gonna learn something. You listen to Kevin Hart, you don't get a ha ha ha. I forgot everything that nigga said 30 seconds later, and he the one criticizing the hood. Hey Larry, I got Larry on the phone. Hey Larry, did you see that video?
What's up? Yeah, I saw that bullshit.
Man, I know.
Hey man,
bruh. Hey nigga, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not really a fan of shaming poor people at all, because it's not like they want to be poor. But my thing is, nigga, you from North Philly, you used to be poor. Like, what the fuck? Like, I got mine so I can insult poor people. Nigga, you used to be a poor person. Like, that's what. So what the fuck? Like, I don't get that, dog. Like, I don't get that. And on top of that, nigga, you worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You know plenty of other people who are worth just as much, if not more. Why don't you shut the fuck up and do something about it? Why don't you put a couple banks in them neighborhoods that you shaming? Why don't you do that instead of getting in front of white folks and calling them people stupid or not smart or whatever the fuck he said? Like, why don't you do something about it instead of talking about it in front of the motherfuckers who caused that whole situation in the first place?
You know, like our brother Jason Black says, you know, Professor Black Truth, one of them two funny voice, we don't know how they look ass niggas, love them both. But I forgot which one say it. But they both drop game when they say, if you want to know the truth, what a black person really thinks, listen to what they say in front of white people. That's some game for your ass that our brothers drop. That's some true shit.
Because that's how he really feels. Like, you get to hang around the Rock and all these white folks, and you an A-lister, and now you forgot where you came from, and not only have you forgotten where you come from.
The Rock is technically black, the same way you technically black, you Arabian bitch.
No. Neither one of my parents are Samoan. Fuck, boy.
Fuck you, nigga, but you look like it. Nigga, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'll beat you. You look like Buddha, but I ain't never called you a Buddhist, bitch.
And I give you a wise ass whooping, ho.
Nah, you're not.
I'll share these bodhisattva hands with your ass, nigga.
Nah, nigga, I treat you like a heavy bag, nigga. Shut your bitch ass up.
Do something.
Nah, I forgot what I will. I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. You know I'm old, nigga. I gotta get my shit off when it's on my mind. Now I forgot.
Cause you wasn't gonna say shit anyway, you iron sheik looking nigga.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? I'll beat your ass, nigga, and Kevin Hart will beat your ass. How about and call you stupid afterwards?
Nigga said hey, dog. Hey, dog. If I got my ass whooped by Kevin Hart, nigga, I just go ahead and pull that trigger, man. Just go ahead and turn that shit around onto my chest and pull that motherfucker.
Oh, nigga, I would if Kevin Hart whoop your ass, nigga, I'm no longer your friend, nigga. Not only that, nigga, I'm not associated with nobody in your family. No, I don't even want to be associated with you, nigga, if you get snuffed by Kevin Hart.
Hey, dog, we was at the Hollywood Bowl a couple weeks ago at Maxwell's concert, and Kevin Hart was there. And I remember, dog, this nigga, Kevin Hart was so on Maxwell. I should have gotten video. If I'd known he was gonna say some dumb shit like this, I would have recorded video of it. Cause this dude was on Maxwell so goddamn heavy. Like, I remember Isha, her ignorant ass, she walked up to me, she was like, man, that little dude is all up on Maxwell. Cause his back was to her. She didn't know that was Kevin Hart at first. She just walked up and was like, That little nigga all up on Maxwell. Goddamn, it's like he like him. I was like, Isha, that's Kevin Hart. She looked again, was like, oh shit.
What?
She didn't know that was Kevin Hart. We were backstage after the Maxwell concert and at the Hollywood Bowl, and she didn't. It was just this little short dude that was like, on Maxwell. On that nigga. Like, god damn, like could nobody else come and take a picture with Maxwell because Kevin Hart was there the whole time.
What you mean, physically on him, or like in his face, or what you?
In his in his space, like no one else could take a picture. Like people were trying to take pictures with Maxwell, and Kevin Hart was like literally like he would not. They were talking, and he's having a good time, but it's like, god damn, nigga, I didn't want to take a picture of Maxwell, so I didn't give a fuck. But somebody in my crew, who I won't mention her name, did want to take a picture. She at least wanted to go say hi to Maxwell, but she couldn't because this nigga was in the way.
That nigga wanted to do a little something. There ain't no telling what the fuck was going on with that. That's crazy.
So what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is it's like when black people get a little bit of something, they forget. You remember when you first started comedy, Kevin Hart? Well, when you first came to LA. That's when Kevin Hart was really starting to blow up. He wasn't there yet. He was
starting to bubble. Yep,
he was bubbling. Yep. So we would still see him out a lot. And I gotta personally say, outside of that, every time I've had an interaction with Kevin Hart, every time I personally talk to him, it's been good. But I ain't really personally talked to him since he's become like hella famous. I saw him a lot before he became he was already famous because Soul Plane that came out. But he wasn't Kevin Hart yet. And he was always around and he was cool. Like I didn't really see no fuck shit with him, you know?
He wasn't no A-lister then. He was nigga famous.
Yeah. So it's like now, Brother Man gets the bag, and it's people from the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts? What the fuck is this?
So damn the circumstances. Damn all the circumstances as to why the people don't have bank accounts. So just fuck all that. Nigga, they're not smart.
Yeah.
That's your go-to response is that they're not smart enough.
They're not smart enough. Like, is it maybe because before he got famous, he didn't have a bank account because he wasn't smart enough? What the fuck is going on with this?
Or let's just call it for what the fuck it is. You acting like there's no such thing as white supremacy, dog.
Right.
You act like that shit does not exist. Like everybody, like it's a level playing ground, and black people in the hood are just not smart because they don't have no nigga. Like, what pisses me off is that not too long ago he didn't he say something about the Egyptians being black, and everybody was like, oh Kevin Hart, yeah.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Like you say that, and then everybody said, there might be a little hope for Kevin Hart. Like Kevin in them books, like he know his shit, and then you go out and you say some shit like this.
See, what that does is, this comes from as a people overall, we have a collective low group self-esteem. We really don't know how dope we are. That's part of the reason why I do my music projects the way I do, so I can point that out. But in people not knowing how dope we are as a culture, they look at themselves, they see that blackness is the thing that holds them back, and then they get famous. And the thing is, the people that write the paychecks, that give access to these people, they know which niggas is which.
Oh yeah, that's why they pick certain niggas. Exactly.
And so I'm just here to say this with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is apolitical. You don't really get into politics like that. Cool. I'm fine with that. Kevin Hart ain't got to get into politics. Just keep cracking your surface level jokes that make people laugh. Fine. But leave us the fuck alone. Why, Larry, why can't these niggas just leave us the fuck alone?
Because I think they get something added to the bag when they don't leave us alone. When you put us on Front Street and make false statements like you did, I think they might put a little something extra in your bag, like, oh, well, thank you for furthering our agenda, Mr. Hart. Here's an extra $5.7 million for saying that. I really think that happens, dog. I think it's an admonished niggas bonus. That's that. I think all black A-listers get that.
He said, well, say that again, nigga.
Man, I forgot. Oh, an admonish niggas bonus. I think they all get that.
They get a
Whenever
bonus
they
for
do
admonishing
something,
niggas.
Yeah, they get a bonus. Yeah, they get a bonus. Like he just got a Jumanji sequel because he did that.
Nigga. And then somebody in the chat room just said something real interesting. Jerome Jenkins, salute to you, this chat room. He said, Kevin Hart wants black folks to get credit cards they can't afford to pay back, so we go deeper in debt. Hey, that's a good point.
That is a damn good point. And don't he do a commercial for Chase or somebody?
He worked for Chase Bank.
Okay, well, dog, if you work it, if that's what you do, then why don't you put together a program and educate these unintelligent people that you're speaking of to better the community instead of putting them out on Front Street? Like if he'd have said, I don't think people in the hood are that smart, so I put together this plan, I'd be like, okay, I didn't like what you said, but I like what you're doing. But you didn't even do that, nigga. You just insulted black people in the hood. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. So it's like, if you're gonna do that, like, why don't you put some work with Chase Banks on putting more branches in the hood? Then how about that?
Nope. He wants that A and B, that admonish niggas bonus. That's what he wants, and that's what he's gonna get too. Dog. Man, you know, it's a lot of comics. Hey, fuck you, but salute to you for being a comic and saying this shit, because a lot of comics won't say certain things about other comics in fear of not being able to work with them. And I know I've been doing comedy for 16 motherfucking years, and one thing I do know is that I will probably never ever work with Kevin Hart. But
yeah,
I'm willing to bet an important body part that I ain't gonna be on the movie set with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't give a fuck. But dog, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. We learned that as kids, especially about your people, especially in front of them people.
Right. In front of, especially in front of them people.
And I want to say this. This ain't got nothing to do with what he said. This got something to do with something else he said. Nigga, I don't believe that story about your mama giving you that Bible with your rent money in it, nigga. I don't believe that.
Right. He just making up shit.
Now how smart was your mama to give you cash instead of giving you a fucking credit card, nigga?
Nigga. See, that's why like, man, a lot of these cats, I can't rock with them. I can't co-sign. Like, that's why we got to know as a people, look, man, it's not even about co-signing these people. It's just knowing that if they're a celebrity and they way out there, always in front. And I'm not saying all celebrities, because there's some celebrities that are downright riders. You know them, I know them. But usually 90% of the time when they're in your face all day, every day, they not for you. They're not with you. The ones that are for you, they may be working, but they're not gonna be in your face all day, every day. The ones getting every commercial, every movie, they done, especially in a time that you have so much black comedic talent, and it's only really one getting all the TV commercials. That lets you know they know who they choosing.
And nigga, the riders can't be in your face like that, because if they are, they won't work anymore. They got to move in silence. They got to work behind the scenes. But it's some out there. But I know one of them who ain't.
It ain't this nigga.
Who just said, the one who just said people in the hood ain't smart for not having bank accounts.
Yeah, nigga. So this is what the hell we dealing with. Do you have any shows going on this weekend in Houston?
Oh man, thank the Lord, I am off this weekend. Do not look for me in any comedy clubs in Houston this weekend. I'm off. I'm gonna rest. I got a shitload of shows next week. I'm sure I'll be calling in before that to announce them. But y'all continue to support this fat piece of shit. Buy his merch, book your readings. If you see him on the fly, go to the show. And fuck you, DeJuan.
Hey, nigga,
bitch.
I tie your beard into Snoop Dogg ponytails, bitch. Fuck out of my goddamn chat room, nigga. That was Larry Goodwell. See, the thing is, here's the thing. Let's go. Let me teach. Let's get into some teaching, all right? Kevin Hart says, let's go back to what he said. Let's go back to what he said, and then let's break it down. Let's break down more of what Kevin Hart said. Let me see. I lost. There's a video. Let me go back and find the video. I got so many people goddamn tweeting me and mad at me over this post and other shit that I've been saying. And salute to everybody listening on Twitter. Salute to everybody listening on Facebook and on Twitch and those other platforms. And especially salute to YouTube. Come on over to YouTube if y'all watching on one of those other platforms and you can't watch in the background or some shit like that. Come on over to YouTube and hit the like button, hit the share button. Everybody up in this bitch, hit the share button, hit the like button. What's up, Carl? Is this Malcolm?
Yep, this is Malcolm.
All right, let me introduce you to the people. I'm giving y'all some education here. And this is for Kevin Hart, too. Hopefully you listening, or one of your people are listening. On the phone is a day one from this show back when I was on the radio, or back when I was just getting started off before YouTube and had 3 or 4 listeners. I would have this man Malcolm co-host with me whenever Larry couldn't make it, or even when Larry could make it, Malcolm would co-host with me. And I got to the point to where I could do this show on my own. Because I had cats like Malcolm Hall, cats like Mike Robertson, I had them there for me to lean on. Reuben Warren, Larry Goodwell, when I couldn't do this on my own. So I want, if those of you who are new subscribers or newer, listen to what this man has to say. He is a very, 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 very close friend of the show and me personally. And he's somebody I vouch for 100,000%. If you're a long-time listener, you know who he is. But Malcolm is an accountant. And he knows all about credit. And he has a program called Cheap Not Broke. And this is not no scamming ass nigga. He's an actual accountant. And he knows all about the game. Well, you know the taxes and all that shit.
Man.
And so he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So he gonna give us some game. And then we gonna get back to what we talking about. Go ahead, Malcolm.
Yeah, man. I saw the show. I was like, I'm at work right now. I said, man, what the fuck is going on? I had to call in about this, about what Kevin Hart said about the banks and black people and all that stuff. Bro, there's not a lot of banks in black neighborhoods. They got check cashing places.
Uh-huh.
It's really kind of hard to get. Some people have a hard time to get access to banks, and they have credit unions. They don't teach you this in schools. I got a program. I was teaching this to middle school kids. Like they don't. The knowledge is not out there. A lot of times personal finance is taught at home. Yeah. Unless you have somebody that's going to drop that game on you, you'll be taught to go to work. You'll be taught to get that 2-week check, but nobody's going to tell you, hey, open an IRA. Nobody's going to teach you about, EFTs and all this other stuff. So, that's why I make it my personal business. I'm a comedian too. I talk about that stuff on stage because it is important. And that's a barrier to entry for black people. If you don't have credit, where you going to live? You're in real estate. Where you going to stay? You can't get an apartment, can't get a house, can't get a car. Where you going?
I got a question for you, Malcolm, based on something Kevin Hart said. Mm-hmm. Kevin Hart said, black people, he's not the black people, people in the hood, the reason he conflated credit with debit. Can you tell the folks the difference between credit and debit and how to attain credit?
Yeah, so debit is your money, it's your cash. You swipe your card, it comes right out your account. Credit.
So debit is hold on. I'm sorry. So debit is cash, right?
Debit is pretty much cash, exactly. So when you swipe your card,
I'm going slow for a reason. I'm going slow for a reason. I'm gonna unleash you right after this point. The point that I made earlier is a point that I made probably before you tuned in, Malcolm. That's why I asked that question. Cash, debit, cash. So Kevin Hart, even if the people have a bank account and they're dealing with debit, they're still dealing with cash. I want to make that very clear because some people think because you have a bank account or now you have a card, Kevin Hart, because he's calling other people stupid and saying they're not smart enough. I think he's not smart enough to understand the difference. So debit is cash. Cash is debit. You heard that from Malcolm. Now you about to go into credit. Right. Go ahead. I'm going to shut up. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, debit, that's your checking account. That's when you get paid. That's where that money goes, and you swipe and it comes right out of there. That's debit. When you get down to zero, either they're going to deny you or you're going to pay a surcharge, $35. That's debit. Credit, that's a whole nother beast. That's a loan. You owe somebody that money, and then you have to pay interest. You have to pay on time. And then if you don't pay, now it's going to hit your credit report, and that's going to affect where you live, your job. It's a lot of things that affect your credit. So, when they talk about black people have issues with credit, that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. You see a lot of black people out. We live in LA, you go to South Central, them black people own homes. Those are not apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Those are black people in those houses. How did you get that house? You had to have some credit. Somebody had to have some credit. So this whole myth of black people don't have credit, well, damn it, that means black people don't have houses and cars.
Right. If we have cars, we have credit. But go right ahead, brother. Go right ahead.
Exactly. You have cars, you have credit. Now, the thing about credit, in the 70s, the United States started turning credit into a consumer-based product. They wanted you to buy stuff that you don't need and pay interest on it. That's when, like, Sears, J.C. Penney's, they all started offering credit cards because, in the 20s, they didn't offer that stuff. So when they changed the laws and they allowed the banks to, they changed, I forget the Credit Act, but they changed the law and they allowed the banks to charge whatever they want as far as interest. So when that happened, everybody started charging credit, and then people started buying bullshit that they don't need on their credit. So a person will go buy, people go to J.C. Penney, buy some stuff on credit, don't pay it. Then you wise up, get older, now you got to go buy a house, and then, J.C. Penney's holding you back from getting credit. Or you do get it, you got to pay a higher interest rate. Because if you listen to the radio, you always hear like these no cash loans, or these no interest loans. That shit is terrible.
Uh-huh.
You're going to be paying on the car for like 20 years. That is bad. I listen to all these commercials like that's bad business. You want to get your car loan from the bank. You never want to get your car loan from the auto dealership because they're not a bank.
Real quick, Malcolm, what's your contact? What's your contact?
Contact Cheap Not Broke. You can find me all things Cheap Not Broke, Instagram. Tonight I'm going live on the rent program in LA because they just opened it back up. It's closing October 2nd, so I'm going to walk people through how you can apply for that program and get your rent paid for a couple months if you're behind.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to need to talk to you. We're going to need to definitely hear about that. But keep cooking, brother. Yeah, it's very important. I really want you guys to listen to Malcolm. Malcolm, let me give you some more back. Malcolm has been doing this for a long time. Malcolm is certified when it comes to this. He has a lot of people that trust him. And for those of you who used to watch Craig Facts, Malcolm was he was one of the ones. He was on one of the most infamous episodes of Craig Facts back in the day. So my Craig Facts listener listening to me, you guys are familiar with Malcolm. I got his picture here on the screen. I love that shirt. Don't ask me for shit. That's Malcolm. So y'all listening to a certified, somebody I personally vouched for. He did not pay for this ad. I'm doing this is because let me tell you something else about Malcolm before I even let Malcolm go any further. As I started doing this show and when I need to make a move in business, I call Malcolm. Am I lying, Malcolm?
Not lying.
How long I've been calling you for that? Like whenever I have an idea or a move?
Man, 6-7 years. We've been going at it for a minute.
And you older, and I'm older than you. I'm older than Malcolm. But this brother's wise beyond his years, and some of the best moves I made, I talked to Malcolm about before. So don't get it twisted in who you listening to. So whatever he has going, he's building his YouTube channel right now. And he's building all of his stuff on Cheap Not Broke. And so I need you to follow him. He's very funny and he's very informative. This man has game. Like I kid you not, he's put money in my pocket. When he has a program, like when a lot of that stuff happened with the virus and stuff like that, Malcolm was telling me about this program, that program. And a few of them programs I followed up on put bread in my pocket. And before the pandemic, Malcolm turned me on to the Small Business Development Center, and a place that's damn free in LA that helped me organize my whole company, breakthrough advocacy services and all that stuff. All that stuff came when Malcolm hooked me up with the Small Business Development Center here in LA, and I got with a business coach. And it's crazy. I saw my business coach at the Hollywood Bowl like last month at a show. One of my business coaches. But I'm just telling the people out there listening, that's who you are. You've been a person that's been tangibly supportive of me, and your advice, your words, your point of view, the program that you became aware of have tangibly done things for me. So I'm letting the world know that's who the fuck you are. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, man. No, I was saying, tonight, as far as my YouTube channel, just like you're saying, telling people how to get their rent paid. If you're behind, I'm gonna go through all, everything you need to know. And SBA, that is a good program. If you are listening, if you are running a business, please sign up for the SBA. They got good resources for you. They got grants. They got all kind of opportunities. So, yeah, man. I just wanted to call in real quick, drop a couple dimes, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything. And real quick, man, Cheap Not Broke. That came from Dewan. I was on stage one night telling some jokes. Dewan said, "Hey, that Cheap Not Broke thing, you need to keep that." And man, I've been riding with that shit, man. So I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir, man. We help each other out, brother. We help each other out, man. I'm gonna get you back to work, man. Go and do what you gotta do.
All right, bro. I'm gonna holler at you.
Yes, sir. That's Malcolm Hall, aka Mr. Cheap Not Broke. Yeah, Malcolm is somebody. Like I said, I vouch for Malcolm all day, every day, twice on Sunday. I vouch for Malcolm Hall every day, all day, 15 times on Sunday. So y'all need to follow Cheap Not Broke. You know what I mean? There have been times Malcolm just randomly give me a call. "Hey, Dewan, did you know about this program that boop, 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 boop?" And I'd be like, "No, I didn't know." And then I put it up on my phone and then airdrop it to my computer. And again, when we done talking, I go and fill that. Shit. There have been times me and Malcolm have been on the phone together, and I'm filling out paperwork for something that he told me about while he's talking, and I'm submitting that shit while we on the phone together talking about this shit. And yeah, that's Malcolm. That's Malcolm. So if you listen to that brother, he will point you in the direction of programs. See, that's what we do here. I'm not just talking shit. We providing solutions too. It's not just shit talk. This is solutions. We're clearing things up. Kevin Hart and people who love Kevin Hart. No, your fame, your wealth, your power does not shield you from using black people as a canvas to make yourself look good. Let me say that again. We are living in a new day. You can no longer use your black wealth, influence, and power and be shielded by that and use it to crap on the rest of us. No, sir. No, sir. Hit the like button. Press the number 1 if you feel me when I say that. Hit the like button. Press the number 1 if you feel me when I say that. And leave a comment after the video. You can no longer use your platform to make yourself look good at our expense. I don't care. I talked about Snoop Dogg yesterday, and I love Snoop Dogg's music. No, sir. It's a new day. It's a new day. Be smart on your own merit. Be smart on your own. We no longer are going to be the canvas for you to look good. And I say that from my heart, Kevin. And not just Kevin Hart, anybody else. I love Dave Chappelle. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Hart's brand of comedy. He's definitely funny. I'm not going to say he's not funny. He's definitely funny. He wouldn't make so many people laugh if he wasn't funny. He wouldn't sell out baseball stadiums. And I have friends that are I have friends that are plastic cup boys. I won't say friends, but people I know really well. I got love for. I got nothing but love for my man Joey Wells. I love Joey Wells. I knew him long before he became a plastic cup boy. I used to go watch him at the Comedy Union all the time. Joey Wells is one of my favorite comedians on earth. And I appreciate Kevin Hart for taking people like Joey on the road. You know, I think all those guys are funny. Naeem is funny. All of those guys are funny, man. I ain't got no issues with none of these cats. None. I ain't got an issue with Kevin Hart. Again, every time I run across Kevin Hart, he's been nothing but respectful. I've never seen him be a diva towards anyone. Like I've observed him come around, and he's not a diva towards his fans. He takes pictures with them. I remember being around him before he became really famous, and I haven't the couple times I have been seeing him from a distance since he's become famous. I haven't seen him really change up how he moves. So I'm not attacking Kevin Hart, the man. I am using him as an example because he used us as an example. Fair game. Fair game. I'm born and raised in the hood. I've lived in better neighborhoods. Look, but here's the thing. Let me tell you something to black people. And I don't know if a lot of y'all are mostly around black people, so you don't really understand how other people think. Let me tell you something. To people, anywhere black people live is the hood. Okay? To them. Let me say this again. Anywhere the majority of black people are living is the hood. It doesn't matter how much the homes cost. It doesn't matter how quiet the neighborhood. See, black folks that live in black neighborhoods, we know that there are varying degrees of the hood. If you from LA, nigga, you know how tougher it gets the further you get east of Crenshaw. See, those of us from the hood like me, we know. Nigga, we know. This is the hood. This is South Central LA. I lived on all sides of South Central LA. I lived over here on the east side of the 110. I lived over here where the niggas got bread. And let me tell you something. Every time I would come over here to Westwood to hang out at UCLA, no matter whether we're talking about View Park, Windsor Hills, where the black people got big ass houses and shit, or whether we're talking about South Central LA and Vermont and Slauson, all of that shit was considered the hood. So when you use terms, Kevin Hart, like the hood, where's Southridge? This is considered the hood to them. Okay, we're on Northridge. Where's Southridge? I'm gonna show you all the Ray Charles house, right down the street from one part of LA I grew up in. And this is a black neighborhood. Look at this house. Look how beautiful this house is. Look how beautiful this neighborhood. This is View Park. This is View Park. This is a black neighborhood, all right? It's just north of Inglewood, just west of Crenshaw District, up the hill. This is a black neighborhood. Look at the views. Look how big these houses are. This is all black neighborhood. Yes, some white people are moving in now, but this is a black neighborhood. This is Southridge and Northridge. You go through View Park, you go over on Olympiad, Monteith. Let's go over here to Mount Vernon. Behind this street is some of the most beautiful views of the city. This is one of the parks I used to hoop at when I was a kid, right over here. I used to hoop at this park sometime. Competition wasn't that great, but it was in walking distance from the house. Look at the views. Like this is, let's see if we get a street view. Can we get a street view of this right here? All right, no, okay, I can't get a street view. Let me get let's get a street view right here on Stocker. This is what we're talking about over here. I mean, some of the best views in the city. Well, none of the views are here. You can't. I can find some of the views in my home, but in my phone, but it's too much. Then you got Baldwin Hills. You got Baldwin Hills on this side of the hill. This is what they consider the hood. This is what they consider the hood right here. And the Dons. Niggas know about the Dons. If you live up in the Dons, you got bread. Houses look small on this side, but when you go in the backyard, views of the city. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. And it's right down the street from the Jungles. It's the Crenshaw district. It's the other part of the hood I grew up in. Then you got over here, when you go down Hillcrest, you got beautiful $1 million homes. I'm sure this house right here would sell for at least $2 million right now. And then you go down Hillcrest and you keep going and you keep going and you in the Jungles. Training Day. The Jays. USC is buying up a lot of these spots right now. But this is still the Jungles. You will get shot. This is the hood. This is what they consider the hood. Then you got the Marathon store. You got Crenshaw, Slauson. And you know if you're from South Central LA, the further east you go, the more hood it gets. Crenshaw is one level of hood. And then when you get to Van Ness Park, this is 60s hood right here. This one level of hood. And then you get to Western. Whole nother level of hood. Then when you get to Slauson. And then by the time you get to Budlong, nigga. By the time you get to Budlong, nigga. Forget it. You deep off in the hood now. Then you got to get to the Hoovers. The Hoovers even more hood than Western. And then when you get over here to Avalon, ooh, even more hood than Crenshaw. Crenshaw ain't got shit on Avalon. And then you get over here to Watts. That's where my family is. I was over here with my family last week at a repast. And all my cousins was wearing all red because my cousin's funeral who died was of blood. I was like, hey, let's get back inside. Why are we standing in the alley? Rest in peace, Cuzzo. But I'm doing this for a reason. Notice what you don't see. Let me give you some of my history. I used to work at the bank. I got my college degree. I paid for my college degree cash. I paid my own way my last 2 years of college, working at a bank. I worked at Washington Mutual Bank, now known as Chase Bank. So I'm about to get into Kevin Hart, what Kevin Hart talking about. Let's break down what Kevin Hart said. Kevin Hart said that there are no banks in the hood, right? There are no banks in the hood. Okay. Kevin Hart said that there are no banks in the hood because black people aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. Kevin Hart said there are no banks in the hood because black people are not smart enough to open bank accounts. Let me say that again. Kevin Hart said there are no banks in the hood because black people, because not black people, that's what he alluded to. People from the hood are not smart enough to open bank accounts. That's what Kevin Hart said. Let's go back and listen to what he said so I can let's go back and listen to what he says to make sure that I'm right. Then I'm gonna break all this. I'm gonna break down what he said, and I'm gonna give you evidence as to why he said what he said is bullshit. This is an educational program tonight.
In the hood aren't smart enough to. If you look in the hood, it's liquor stores and check cashing places. You know why? Because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. They're going to get a check, they're going to cash it, and it's a liquor store right next to it. Let's just put that around them. Let's also put...
So now we're going back to the front. Let's go back to his words.
If you look in the hood, it's liquor stores and check cashing places. You know why? Because they know that the people in the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. They're going to...
All right. Now I have a joke that talks about, if you ever see me do my stand-up, you may have seen me do a joke where I say, you know you in the hood where you only see liquor stores, bank accounts, and liquor stores, check cashing places, and chicken shacks. And that's true. But is it the people of the hood's fault, or is that by design? And this is where intelligence comes into play. We all see the same thing. We all see that the hood is full of check cashing places, chicken joints, fast food restaurants, and there are a few banks in the hood. We all know that's true. Now we have to ask why. So let's go. Now you're getting into Road to Juan Brown. My first job was here. This is my first job. It was called, at the time, Washington Mutual Bank. Well, my second job. This is the job that I used to pay my way through college right here. This is my 355 East Manchester. East because when you're in Inglewood, La Brea is the Mason-Dixon line. The address is in Inglewood. Everything with a West Manchester, with a West address in Inglewood is a street is something that's west of La Brea. Everything east is east of La Brea when you're dealing with Inglewood addresses. So this was my job that paid my way through college. It was known as Washington Mutual Bank. I worked there from the year 2000 to the year 2005. And this is where I learned a lot about how America works and how society works, working at this bank. Because when you work at a bank at the age of 19 and 20, that's when you're really getting an understanding of how the world works. And what better way to get an understanding of how the world works than dealing with people's money? Also, another side fact, I saw somebody get shot right here where I have my cursor. I was walking into work one day. I saw some nigga was sitting right here, and some nigga got and just dumped on that nigga laying right here in his car. I ran up in the bank so goddamn fast, and that nigga drove off. And and then they made me report it to the police, and the police was like, I don't believe it. I was like, I'm only telling you niggas because my job made me report it. Fuck y'all. But yeah, I saw a nigga get dumped on right here. I was like in 2002, 2001. But anyway, this is where I got baptized in how the world works, right here. Right across the street, we had a Bank of America. This is my competition. And in this neighborhood was a lot of black-owned businesses. At the time, this used to be a place called the Dynasty. Black-owned. This insurance company was black-owned at the time. I don't know who owns it now. Miss Ruby's Bakery, they still good. They food good than a motherfucker. They food is good than a motherfucker. You got Bruno's. It was a black-owned record shop right here where it says Insurance Live Scan. That used to be a black-owned music store. This is a black-owned hair. This spot that you see right here. This is this used to be a hair salon over here. And this is where Scotty from the Whispers and George Duke used to get their hair done here, cut here. I know because my homegirl used to work up in this motherfucker. And Scotty from the Whispers, the twins, because they live over in Ladera, and George Duke, they used to come over here and get their hair done. Black-owned businesses everywhere. Why am I saying all this? Because I used to be the business banking. This used to be a black-owned Radio Shack right here back in the day. I used to be the business banking manager for this branch. And ask me, with all of these black-owned businesses here, ask me how many black-owned businesses got that I gave loans to. Ask me. This isn't a HIPAA violation because the answer is 0. All these black-owned businesses we had, this Miss Emma Snack Shop, this is a Latino lady. I love Miss Emma. I ain't gonna lie. Miss Emma, I saw her recently. I love Miss Emma. She's dope as fuck. But right here, right now, This is a black-owned bar. This is a black-owned bar. This bar wasn't there when I was there. But there's a lot of black-owned businesses over here. But I never lent any money to any black-owned businesses because Washington Mutual Bank, which is now Chase Bank, didn't approve any. So even when there was a bank, the bank didn't really fuck with the black people. Let me tell you another issue. Notice how small this branch is. This was the only branch in Inglewood. We only had 6 tellers in this branch. This was the only branch in Inglewood at the time. And we only had 6 tellers. This when Inglewood was still black. And this is the point I want to prove to Kevin Hart. It's not they don't bring banks to black neighborhoods because the black neighborhoods and the hood is too stupid. They don't bring banks to black neighborhoods because banks don't fuck with black people. That's why. I'm speaking from experience, nigga. Banks don't fuck with us. This is my first job, nigga. I got baptized in this. Let's go further. In South Central LA, the Mason-Dixon line for banks is Crenshaw Boulevard. That particular branch, it moved over here. That branch I showed you is now a Chase Bank, but that branch that I showed you is now over here. And I was still working here. I was still working here when they moved to this branch over here that's now right next to SoFi Stadium. And let me tell you a quick story. One of my friends, one of my neighbors he used to own this Del Taco right here. See this Del Taco? This used to be a black-owned Del Taco. What happened was in the year 2000, they built this shopping center right here. This was nothing. This was just nothing. The Lakers had left. The Lakers left the Forum. So this was nothing. This used to be Hollywood Park, where the horse races were, and the casino. And the rest of this was vacant land. SoFi Stadium wasn't there. After the riots in Rebuild LA, because the riots burnt some of the stuff down over here. This used to be a Price Club over here. They built this in 2000. No black-owned businesses in the shopping center. No black-owned businesses in this shopping center at the time. Inglewood at the time is still like 75% black. They didn't allow any black-owned businesses in this particular location. And so in 2003, 2004, they built this shopping center right here, Costco. This is all built 2003, 2004. And then in 2005, this particular shopping center was built. Still, not one black business. The mayor of Inglewood was a man by the name of Roosevelt Dorn. Roosevelt Dorn was a black mayor of Inglewood. My neighbor had to threaten lawsuit against the city of Inglewood to get his Del Taco built in this shopping center because he was saying there's no black owned. There's a whole new development in Inglewood, but no black businesses. Kevin Hart. This is what we dealing with, nigga. We ain't stupid. This is what the fuck we dealing with. And we get a nigga with a microphone and want to call us stupid. Let me tell the story a little bit deeper. This is pre-gentrification Inglewood, nigga. This is when this was black people here. I'm educating you. This particular shopping center was only supposed to have 2 plots. The Del Taco and the Wendy's. They had no black-owned businesses. He had to threaten lawsuit for one black-owned business to get a spot in this shopping center. But what happened? Washington Mutual said, hey, we want to move from over here in Inglewood. We want to move from over here off Manchester and Locust to over here on Century. You know what the black customer said? Look at, I'm gonna give you a zoom out. This is how far from where it says Costco to right over here where it says Inglewood. This is the distance. This is where he moved. Let me tell you what the black customer said. Because when I worked here in Inglewood at the Washington Mutual Bank, the line was out the door every Friday from people cashing their checks with the bank, Kevin Hart. Not at a check cashing place. And this is Inglewood when you get shot. I told you when I first started working here, I saw a nigga get shot right there in front of the bank. Hell, nigga, I was a part of a bank robbery here, nigga. That's why I got so much passion in how I'm speaking. My first week working at this bitch, it got robbed. My first week working at this bitch, it got robbed. Fuck this nigga talking about. But this was the only branch for the black citizens of Inglewood. And the black citizens of Inglewood supported this branch. My customers. When I go to Inglewood to this day, we in 2023. I went to a concert in Inglewood last month. I still saw some of my old banking customers from when I was 20 years old, my nigga. You know how good it felt to see Miss Smith still alive because she was old when I was a kid. And I saw Miss Smith. I almost cried when I hugged her. I'm for real. I almost cried. It was like, man. Because you get an intimate connection with people when you deal with their money. So the people wanted 2 branches. Inglewood is all black at the time. We needed 2 branches. We needed to keep this branch open and in addition, open up a branch over here on this side of Inglewood. But what did they say? No. We only gonna have 1 branch for the city. The black residents begged for 2 branches and had enough deposits to prove it. I was the business bank. My assignment was business banking, and I was over the vault. I counted the money every Tuesday and Thursday when we got the shipments. And I was there when the person that did our shipments, when he got killed. Our cash person, he didn't get shot. And luckily, I don't want to say luckily, but he got shot and killed. I was working at the bank one day on a Friday, and we didn't get our cash. Our cash came on Friday. Why didn't we get it? We didn't get our cash because over here at this branch, our cash man got shot and killed. The Manchester and at St. Andrews, the Manchester and Vermont branch. This branch. My cash guy, they robbed him right here, shot and killed him. And I'll never forget working at the branch that day and not having no cash on a Friday night because he got shot and killed at the stop before ours. You think I'm lying? Let me see if I can Google that story. Let me see. Let me see. Cash. Nah, I'm doing too much. But I never forget that. This is how much I invested in working in Inglewood. You know what I mean? But we needed another branch. See, this is a whole neighborhood. The next branch wasn't until you got way over here. There are no banks in between. So they didn't keep the branch open, and they opened the one over here in Inglewood. And to bring back and to tie in the story about the Del Taco, when Chase came, they kicked out the black business. That's why he had to sue. And that's why if you ever go to the shopping center over on Century and you go to that Chase Bank, if you notice the parking is trash. The parking is horrible. The reason the parking is horrible was because this Del Taco was never meant to be here. This was always supposed to be the Del Taco over here where the Chase is, and the rest of that was supposed to be parking. They had to add that Del Taco in because he sued. He threatened lawsuit for no black businesses being in Inglewood. And Chase Bank, at the time, Washington Mutual, damn near made sure a black-owned business didn't get built here in Inglewood. Why am I saying that? Because, Kevin Hart, in order for something to be built in a neighborhood, it has to be approved by the city council. So if it's not more banks in a particular neighborhood, it's because the city planners don't want it that way. And because the banks and the branches don't want it that way. At the time, Inglewood would have been cool, would have been two Washington Mutual banks. But Washington Mutual didn't want to invest in black neighborhoods. Let me tell you something else. This is the same Washington Mutual Bank, Chase Bank, that at the time, they since closed a branch. But at the time, they didn't want to open up two branches in the hood. At that same time, over here in Culver City, where's Sepulveda? I'm looking for Sepulveda. Where's Sepulveda? Where's Sepulveda? Here we go. At the time, they had a Chase Bank, a Washington Mutual here in Culver City. They had another one. See where this Jack in the Box is? In that same parking lot, it was another Washington Mutual there. And there was another one inside the mall here. Within a 1 mile stretch, you had 3 branches within 1 mile. You had 3 branches within a 1 mile radius. But here in the city of Inglewood, where the black people lived, they'd only open one. Let me go a little bit deeper about LA and how the hood works. You living out. I'm using LA as an example, Kevin Hart, because you've been living out here for a long time. Even though you don't live in the hood, you should know how your city operates, nigga. There's always been like a Mason-Dixon line when it comes to banks. Crenshaw's been it. Crenshaw is the last street you're going to see banks. They've since opened up a Chase over here on Crenshaw and Imperial. They have a Chase Bank here. You got a B of A here. You have there's a Wells Fargo somewhere over here. Yeah, here it is, Wells Fargo. Crenshaw, you'll get some banks. You'll get some banks on Crenshaw. Then when you get up here to Crenshaw and Slauson, you'll get some banks. Crenshaw, there's no Crenshaw and Florence. But Crenshaw and Slauson, you get some banks. U.S. Bank, B of A over here. There's a Wells Fargo not too here, far from here. Then you got another Chase Bank. But here in South Central L.A., the banks, for the most part, stop at Crenshaw. You get one Chase Bank over here in Vermont and Manchester. But for the most part, there's a dearth of banks here. There's a Wells Fargo up here. I know somewhere off Jefferson and Broadway. I know somewhere over here. But for the most part, in the South Central, in the hood, there's a dearth of banks. There's a dearth of banks, meaning there aren't that many banks. Being someone who worked in banking my whole life, not my whole life, my whole young life between the ages of 19 and 24, 23, I was so good at it. I paid my last 2 years of college off cash because I was so good at them loans, nigga. So I'm speaking from tangibles, nigga, not from some out there point of view. I'm speaking on how I constructed my goddamn life. Banking is an integral part of it. And I noticed it then and I notice it now. They don't put banks in the hood. They don't put banks in the hood. Not because the people aren't stupid. Not because the lines run around the corner on check cashing day. Man, I remember when I used to be over here. In Inglewood, working at the bank, man, shit. Nigga, I remember when I used to be at work and I would look outside and we'd have a line wrapped, or like the line would be like literally wrapped around to see like where this tree is, because we can see out the window. On Friday, the line would be about right here where my cursor is. and it will wrap around into here. And then when we came in, it's still the line still snaked down and out. Then because we only had 6 tellers. This Bank of America right here, their line, their entrance was always on this side. But I would see their line because their line would be up to Manchester. Why? Because there wasn't enough fucking banks. Black people aren't stupid, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, I need you to learn something. Learn this word, city planner. You want to know why there are no more banks in the hood? Ask your city planners. They're the ones who decide, urban planners, city council. They're the ones who decide what goes where. City council decides if a bank goes here, or a check cashing place goes there, or a chicken shack goes here. Not the stupid people, Kevin Hart. You see what I mean? Right. OG Bag said the same city council that got Mexicans talking crazy about black people on tape. Real talk. Nuri Martinez, Kevin De Leon. Kevin De Leon is still in office after talking that shit about black people. A Mexican city council that's literally took resources out the pockets of black people. They're the ones that approve and and corrupt Negro people on the city council like Mark Ridley Thomas, who's now in jail. I told y'all that story about how he didn't bring in the plaza because he wanted his name on it. Black people, we dealing with all this shit, man. Man, we dealing with a lot of shit. Only for niggas to go in front of white people and say people from the hood aren't smart enough to open up bank accounts. I say this with love in my heart because I love my people. And I still got love for Kevin Hart. I'm not going to throw the little nigga out with the bathwater. But house cleaning starts at home. And people be thinking house cleaning. See, this is the thing. Too many niggas think house cleaning is talking about people in the hood. That's the issue. People be thinking house cleaning is, okay, let's shit on the hood. People be thinking house cleaning is, what about black on black crime? That could be part of house cleaning because I ain't saying here to say the hood is perfect. The hood got plenty of issues to clean up. But not at the expense of the rest of us. We're not going to let you shit on us in front of white folks. Not two white folks. No, sir. No, sir. Let me say that again. No, sir. No, sir. We got enough problems in the hood, man. We do. I'm South Central, born, bred, and raised. And I see the hood for the good and the bad. Because for every hood rat degenerate, there's a father trying to get his kids through school. There's a mother trying to get her kids to school. There's a young black couple trying to save their money to one day get in a better circumstance and live in a better neighborhood. That's what I see when I go to the hood. You see problems. I see people who are down for opportunity. You see niggas, I see gods. You see people that can't get right. I see people that are trying to figure it out. That's my point of view on the hood. My point of view on the hood is 85% of them cats in the hood are doing their best to make it to the next day. They're intelligent. They're good-hearted. They're kind-hearted. They got love in their heart. They doing what they know to do to get by the best way they can get by. And the last thing that they need is some nigga with a microphone shitting on them because they happen to be doing a little bit better economically. That's what I see. Matter of fact, I'm about to show y'all some pictures from the hood from this last couple weeks. Let me put some pictures up in here. Let me put some pictures up in here. Y'all see? Uh-huh. I think I loaded too many pictures in here at once. I think I loaded too many pictures at once. This shit froze like a motherfucker. I loaded like 40 pictures up in this motherfucker at once. Rest in peace, my cousin CC. I love my cousins. My cousin Tyrone, that's next to me to my right. My first time seeing him since 2000. They put him in prison. He was supposed to only get 9 years, and they gave him 23. So he surprised us seeing him at the funeral. My cousin Corey. Y'all know them stories I be telling y'all? Oh, y'all, some of y'all may recognize. Yeah, that's Nina Boy for y'all, for you niggas that be on the online shit. That's my cousin JR. Y'all know him as, for y'all that be on that internet drama, y'all know him as Nina Boy. That was his brother that passed away. That's my cousin. Much love, cuzzo. My cousin, y'all know I be telling y'all them stories about my cousin that was that used to be on a diving board and throwing up the set before he would like to do like perfect somersaults and throw up the set before he hit the water with no splash. That's my cousin Corey in the black and white. That's my cousin Corey in the black and white. Damon, I know you be watching, so yeah, that's you on here. My cousin Eric, these my niggas right here. And my dumb ass wearing all blue at a blood funeral. I'm at a blood funeral wearing blue, but hey, I told y'all I'm an LA nigga. I never bought into the hood politics. I don't play them games, and no one play them games with me. It's all respect. Yeah, it was a blood funeral, but I was wearing blue. Goddamn it, I like blue. Shit, my bad. But rest in peace, cuzzo. But this is from the Central Avenue Jazz Fest. This is I'm drawing a blank. The hotel. The fuck, man. This is where the main hotel where everything. I'm drawing a blank to the name. I keep wanting to say it's with the B. Yeah, Nina Boy, my fam. Yeah, I know Nina Boy, East Coast Crip, but his brother was from Fruittown. So everybody was celebrating. We were celebrating his brother. His brother was from Fruittown Brims, and so yeah. But the Dunbar, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. The Dunbar Hotel. This is the Central Avenue Jazz Fest last week. This shit was so goddamn dope. LA culture. Look at this picture. I'll be in the hood, y'all. This is Central Avenue. Look at this. That's a dope ass picture, ain't it? Of South Central, downtown LA. I'm a LA ass nigga. And it was so beautiful with the music. This is the hood, 43rd and Central, the home of jazz on the West Coast, Kevin Hart. This is the hood. People volunteering. The Black Panther headquarters. This is the hood, Kevin Hart. I tell you what, let me tell you one thing that's not on this street, Kevin Hart. There are no banks. Not because the people in this neighborhood don't want a bank or couldn't use a bank. It's because the city planners don't ask the banks to come and the banks refuse to open up. You see a lot of business. This is mostly Mexican neighborhood now, but it's still black folks. My family still got property over here. You still got a peppering of black folks over here. Back to my cousin Cece's funeral. Man, rest in peace, cuzzo. Man. Rest in peace, cuzzo. Man, I was only 41 years old. Died of heart failure. And no, he didn't die of no hood activity. Before these Kevin Hart niggas come around, no, my cousin's funeral was not over no hood activity. He died in his wife's arms with his children around him of heart failure at the young age of 41. He didn't die over no hood shit because he's a man that raised his children, Kevin Hart. He wasn't stupid. He may have been a blood at one point in his life, but he died a father. Cuzzo died a father. Cuzzo died a man. In his wife's arms with his children. And those are his children right there. Cuzzo died a man, not a gangster. And the gangsters who you do see here, Kevin Hart, you may want to judge these quote unquote gangsters. You may want to judge them, but they paid for the funeral. When Cuzzo died, they didn't have to do a fish fry. They didn't have to do a car wash. His hood came through and paid for it. Kevin Hart. The hood paid for it, not a fish fry, not a GoFundMe. The hood. So even in the profane, you can find the profound if you're willing to look. Even within the profanity, there's profoundness within our culture. That's how deep we are as a people. Even within the profane elements of our culture, profoundness bounds. Look at this. This was the Central Avenue Jazz Fest. This is the legendary Hubert Laws. And his sister Deborah Eloise Laws. This is what he's doing in the hood, Kevin Hart. This is what we was doing in the hood this past Saturday, Kevin Hart. The legend, the God, Hubert Laws. Come on now. The greatest flutist of all time was in the hood, Kevin Hart. Central Avenue. Black people. This is the hood. These are the stupid people you talking about, Kevin Hart. These are the stupid people you speak of, sir. These are the stupid people you speak of, sir. You know what we was doing in the hood on Saturday, Kevin Hart? Let me show you what we stupid people were doing. One of the current gods of music, Kamasi Washington. Where are we now? Sells out arenas worldwide, just like you, Kevin Hart. Born and raised in South Central, just like me. This is what he was doing. Kamasi with an all-black band. They're all from the hood, Kevin Hart. Of course, we smoking weed in LA. See that weed?
You can smell it.
These people don't look stupid to me. Do these people look stupid to you? Ryan Porter from the hood on trombone. Tony Austin from the hood on drums. Cameron Graves from the hood on piano. This is what we do in the hood. Lots of culture. Lots of culture going on in the hood. I don't see no stupid people. Chat room. Can y'all help me? Do y'all see stupid people? Do y'all see stupid people? I don't. It's not good enough to just be offended when white people offend us. See, if a white person said what Kevin Hart said, you for damn sure it'd be protests at Chase, as it should be, to get that person to stop being a spokesman. I'm not saying I'm going to go that far, but if some other people did, I wouldn't say it's crazy to do so. You cannot keep doing this shit. You can't keep doing that. You can't. And it's all celebrities. You know? It's time, man. Like I'm just. Should I take calls? If y'all want, if y'all want me to open up the phone line, press number 1. Fuck it. Call in. I'm gonna see what some of y'all think. Just call in anyway. Fuck it. Fuck with it. I know y'all don't care shit. 323-744-7425. 323-744-7. Let me see what you think. I just opened up the phone line back. I know I had the phone number up there, but I'm ready want to have this conversation because you see, I'm gonna give you guys some comedic perspective, but I'm also giving you some real nigga life experience perspective. And I had and a salute to Malcolm Hall. If you're coming in late, listen earlier to Malcolm Hall when he called in Mr. Cheap Not Broke. Listen up to him because we're not just running our goddamn mouth. We're not just running our mouth. Let's see here. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, what up, Dewan? What's good, yo? What's good? It's your boy Breeze Omega, man.
What's up, Breeze? What's on your mind?
What's good, yo? I just was calling in because I just tapped in, and I want everybody to know that you don't be capping when you be telling that truth, because you be out there. And I tell everybody, I was like, shit, when I met bro, when I first saw you was on the 5150 show, and then, like, everything, when you came to the rally for reparations, everything transcribed right with you. So I want people to know that you a real brother. You always kept it 100. And shit, like I said, I went through so much at that time when I met you. Like I said, my wife had just died and all that shit. So I was going through a lot of shit at that point. But when I saw you, I was like, yeah, this brother keep it real, just like Tariq. Everything that y'all did and y'all was saying was being replicated in real life, and I saw all that shit. So I always respect you, brothers. I always appreciate you because, like I said, shit, I thought I was going to die. But when I met you and I saw Tariq, when he did what he did, all that shit brought me new breath of life. Yeah. And I always appreciate you, brothers, on that. That shit made me really understand you. That's why when I look at people, I'm like, yo, y'all don't really know. Y'all didn't meet him. Y'all didn't see him. He was there, and he's a big brother, and you real. So, you know, I just got to keep it 100, and I appreciate you on that 100 the whole time.
I appreciate that, man. It just, at the end of the day, man, we got to be real with ourselves. That's the only way we going to change up our situation, man. We can't be going around fronting and faking and bull jive. You don't fix nothing by bull jiving. In math, you got to reduce everything down to at least all fractions down to the least common denominator, right?
Right.
You got to get real with it. You can't be putting extras on it. That's the only way you're gonna solve any problems, man.
Yeah. I never, like I said, when I met you and everything that went down, I never thought at that point I was gonna be at that point when that shit happened. My wife was still alive at that time. Yeah. I never thought I was gonna be like, oh shit, like boom, I was gonna be without her and everything was gonna happen, but it did. That's how the universe makes shit happen, and that's what happened. It's like, and that's why I respect you 100. Everything I saw you do, and like, you know, I fuck with Corey too, because I met you through the 5150 first, and then to see you in person. That's what I'm trying to say.
And Corey, I saw Corey on Monday. Corey, a real one. Corey's another one that's real, and you are too, brother, man. Like, for you to be for you to still be walking with your chin up. Look, man, you know how much I love my wife. I couldn't imagine that. Man, bruh, the thought will fuck me up.
Yeah,
so for you to still walk around.
That was my ace right there. That was everybody I had. So when she disappeared, that's why I love watching you and your wife. I love seeing your daddy, your everything. Because I had that same type of life, but then it disappeared.
Yeah, man. But the dope thing about you is, man, you still ticking. And that's all the fuck that matter. And you keep your head up. So
I appreciate you on
just
that.
know that the
all day,
respect is
brother.
always mutual.
Yo, I only tick because of brothers like you, brothers like Corey, brothers like Tariq Nasheed, the new
And let me
black
tell you something
media.
else. Let me tell you, I can't even take credit. You know why you tick? It's because you choose to.
Yo, you right on that. You right.
You got to take credit. You got to shout out. You got to do like what Blaze said. You got to shout out to yourself. You choose to, and then from after you made the choice to tick, you then found people online that sort of echo some of the things, some of the thoughts in your mind. But the first choice was your choice to keep ticking. That's the first choice. Acknowledge yourself first, always. All right.
Word up. Salute, brother.
You have a good one, my brother.
I respect everybody out there in the chat. I love y'all all. Y'all have a good one, man. No doubt.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
out to my brother Dewan B. Yo, I'm about to cop a bunch of stuff from you. I just was like trying to. I ain't want to put it.
I'm about to have a sale. I'm about to have a sale starting up in October. I'm telling you right now. I'm about to create some new T-shirts too, and I'm about to have a sale.
Yeah, y'all stay blessed up. Yo, love you, brother.
All right, man. You have a good one. Always salute yourself first. Always salute yourself first, folks. What's up, caller? Can you please turn the background noise down? Then tell us where you're calling from and what's your name.
Oh, shit. Hey, you know what? Dewan, I'm going to be real fast, but I probably can't do that because I'm in the gym. One thing I want to say is keep doing what you're doing, and we definitely need balance and check, especially for entertainment. Say things like what Kevin Hart said, because it has ramifications. And he might say something out of ignorance or, just lack of knowing, but our enemies are listening. And they'll use what he said and they'll weaponize it to do something. So I don't really understand what he means about wealth and bank accounts because everybody I know, for the most part, has a bank account. So,
Right.
So who are these black people in the hood that you're talking about? See, the thing is, you're talking about, again, the criminal class. You can't just basically narrow us down to people in the streets that's doing illegal activity when majority of us get up every day, go to work, have bank accounts, and credit cards. So I let you go because I know the noise in the back might be killing you.
You 100% right about that. They try to make it seem as if, we all just walking around down, out, and destitute. No, motherfucker. Nah, but yeah, that's real talk, man. Thanks for calling. You're right. He right. It's like, dude. My mom, I got my first bank account at what, 16? No. I got my first bank account like at 13. My mom opened up my first bank account like at 12 or 13 for me. The fuck is this nigga talking about? Look at this. And he acting like check cashing places only in the hood. Nigga, this is Hermosa Beach. You see the water right there, the ocean? What do you see here? Western motherfucking Union. What do you see here? Check cashing place. This is in Torrance, nigga. This is white on white on white. Let's go up. Let's go up to Santa Monica. Let's see here. Check cashing. There's a lot of rich motherfuckers up here in Santa Monica. Okay, you got 1, 2, 3 check cashing place, and this is in Santa Monica. Mind you, this is right by these rich ass homes over here. Santa Monica is not a cheap place to live. I'm telling you right now, that Santa Monica is not a cheap place to live at all. It used to be hood spots in Santa Monica. They took the hood out of Santa Monica about 10, 15 years ago. About 20 years ago. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Dwam.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jerome, Seattle. How's it going, man?
Jerome from Seattle. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, I understand your point about the bank thing and everything, and basically, he was some shit he don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. But the main thing I get from that is, as a community, there's not a price to pay for people saying shit like this. You know what I'm saying? There's never a price. You know what I'm saying? Other community in the black community, man, it's like you get rewarded for being a traitor and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of that shit. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm tired of that shit.
Yeah, what happens is the white folks reward it, and then we excuse it oftentimes because that person has a lot of money, or we're like, oh, we don't. That's another black person that's successful, so I'm not gonna say nothing. It's time for us to stop to take the gloves off of black people and be like, I don't give a fuck how. If your success hinges on you shitting on me, you're not gonna have success. How about that? See, me personally, I just don't buy none of his merchandise. I don't put any money in Kevin Hart's hand in any kind of way. That's the way I do it. And I don't. If he has a new special, I don't retweet it. You know what I mean? Can I take him down? No. I can't really do anything, but I can use my voice when and this is what we all can do. We can only do what we can do. And so what you can do is when these black entertainers use us as a canvas to shit on us, the main thing we can do is call out what they do, not excuse it, but call it out, and call out any nigga that's any other nigga that's excusing it. Call them out this to come in. It wasn't always like this within our community, but we could change it back to a been like that by watching who we support coming up. The next people, comics or entertainers we have coming up, if they don't have a level of substance behind what they say and do, whether it be a rapper, comedian, actor, whatever, if what they say or do isn't backed with substance that is substantive to our community, we, just don't support them as hard as we support those who do bring that substance, because there are those out there who do bring that substance.
That's right. It started with that in slavery with that manumission shit. Anyway, that's where it started.
It started there, but we've also we used to have a code about ourselves. We didn't support people that didn't fuck with us at some point, at different points. We remember the civil rights movement. A lot of those entertainers were pushed to support the civil rights movement. They didn't want to. They had to, because the people wasn't fucking with them if they didn't. And that's what it comes down to. Me, you, we, all of us doing what we can do with our little ass voice. And then at some point, the collective will get loud enough for these niggas to get in line. But thanks for giving us a call, my brother.
All right, Dawn, can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just one little bit there. On Twitter, like 2 years ago, David Duke was saying some real wild shit, some stupid shit. He was a grand wizard and he's a politician and all that. And I know he didn't see my tweets towards him, but I just started ragging him, burning him online and shit. And then like a month or two, I heard he got suspended from Twitter. That was one of the most proud moments I ever had in my life online, because he probably didn't see mine, but I know I contributed to it. So that I felt good about that. So
keep it up, man. So, keep it up. Yeah. All right, man. You have a good one.
Yeah. All right, you too. Bye.
Use your voice no matter how big or small you perceive it. Because in the choir, everybody ain't got to sing good. But everybody do have to project. You dig how that goes? You ain't got to have the strongest voice to be in the choir. But you do got to use the strength of your voice, wherever that may be. And in that collective shout, you change things. That's how the game works. I appreciate y'all for listening. Get your Monday mini readings. Hey, press number 1 if you want me to read Kevin Hart. I just thought about that. I was about to get up out of here. Y'all want me to read him real quick? His birthday's July 6th, it says. Okay. For you niggas that don't like readings, you can get the fuck out. I have certain people that be like, I don't like when DeJuan reads. Well, this is your time to exit. For those of you who do like the reading, let's go into Kevin. I was about to sign off, and I'm getting ready to sign off. But let me go into Kevin Hart's cards. Let's see who he is behind closed doors, shall we? Dewan, that was corny. All right. Again, I'm going into my card reading section of the show. If you want to know what I'm doing, I am a certified real nigga, and first of all, I'm a certified real nigga. Second of all, I'm a certified cardologer, and I read cards. Cards is a system of divination. Playing cards, same cards you play poker with. Same cards you play poker with. 52 playing cards equal 52 weeks a year. The 4 suites equal 4 seasons. Every suite has 13 cards, like 13 weeks in each season. 12 royal cards, 12 months of the year. The red and the black represents the masculine and the feminine, positive, negative. It's a system at reading people, and it's a system that predates the tarot cards, all right? Predates the tarot. And that's what I do here. I read these motherfucking things. So Kevin Hart is he's a 9 of diamonds. That's crazy because Kanye West is also a 9 of diamonds. Oh, wow. 9 of diamonds people are very, Kevin Hart probably had a very rough childhood. Things came to him slower. Like his career. Kevin Hart was around Hollywood for a long time before he blew up. I remember seeing Kevin Hart on TV like in the late 90s. I remember seeing him like on different stuff in the late 90s. He's always been around. He's a hard worker. He's somebody that is a grit and grind. He's gonna get it how he get it. 9 of diamonds. Kanye West is also a 9 of diamonds. They don't mind being controversial. But Kevin Hart, the issue is with him, he's being controversial towards niggas, not towards white people. So Kevin Hart he don't like offending white people. 9 of diamonds people don't mind being offensive. They don't mind being offensive at all. But he's choosing to be offensive towards black people. And that's the problem. 7 of spades in Mercury means you can't always trust what he says. 7 of spades is one of the cards. That's one of the lying cards. I'm not saying all 7 of spades people are liars. I am saying 7 of spades is a card that if I'm reading somebody, say if you come to me for a reading and you have a question about somebody and the 7 of spades come up, it's a good chance they're lying. 2 of clubs and Venus, that's where he gets his business in order. His business is strong. That's where his business comes in. His business is strong. That 2 of clubs is a business card. And he has it in his Venus. So that means he makes his work. His work is his business. His life is business-like. Even though you see him joking around and ha ha he he. That nigga's business in his ass through life. That's a businessman right there. But where you start to see the issue was going on is you see Hart is a good last name for him because he has a heart as a Saturn card. Let's go to his Mars. His Mars card is a King of Clubs. That means he has a very King of Clubs is a card of law enforcement of doing things by the book and follow and giving orders. But Mars is challenges, so that means he can have issues with orders in some kind of way. I mean, King Hearts and Mars, I mean, he's challenged in some kind of ways as far as being a boss, like writing his own laws, writing his own rules. He likes to follow the program, and what I'm trying to say here. Because King of Clubs really does not like following the program, but it would have been, with the King of Clubs being in Mars, that means he has a challenge in his own program. In a lot of ways, he follows whatever is popular, in other words. That shows me in his Mars position. He follows whatever is popular. He's a trendy kind of guy. He's going to hop on the trends. But he has that 4 hearts in Saturn. That means emotional fulfillment is his number one desire. He needs to feel love. 4 hearts is the card that needs to feel love from the outside. It has a hard time generating love from within, so it needs outside approval. That's why that's a lot of that, needing the dominant society's approval. He's somebody who needs the approval of others. What he has to understand and realize is, as he goes through his journey in life, he has to realize that he has to learn to fulfill his own heart. That no one else can give him what he's looking for. He has to give himself that. See, everybody plays their own cards out. No matter how rich you are, no matter how wealthy you are, no matter how famous you are, you still got life issues you got to deal with. He also needs to be more of a master in taking control and setting the rule. Like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is a master at setting the rules and doesn't even know it. Just like Kanye. He and Kanye got the same exact card spread. I remember how Kanye was always going around talking about something. I want Nike to sign me. I want Adidas to sign me. Niggas was like, no. Why don't you sign yourself, nigga? You Kanye West. Nine of Diamonds people have one of their major challenges in life is realizing that they are the plug. Kevin Hart, you are the plug, nigga. You don't need other people's approval. You approve yourself and you'll be a lot more powerful. But he has that cosmic moon of a Queen of Hearts. That means, again, another emotional fulfillment card. There's an emotional benefit to what he does that can supersede how he speaks. See, that seven of spades to say what it needs to say to get whatever it wants. That's the thing about the seven of spades. See, if he had a king of clubs in the same card, if he has a king of clubs, say in Mercury position, that means people with a king of clubs in their Mercury position, they tell the blunt truth. Often, like a two of clubs has a king of clubs in Mercury, so they tell a blunt, unfiltered truth. Seven of spades says whatever the fuck it needs to say to get whatever the hell it wants to get. And what he ultimately wants is emotional fulfillment. Pluto card, 8 of Hearts, another emotionally needy card. In Pluto, that means he struggles to find emotional fulfillment. Even when the emotional fulfillment is there, he doesn't recognize it. But this is why he's so successful. His transformation is a 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs is the performer card. That's the card of the studio, the creator. And so for him to transform into to his highest self, he had to be that. So he truly is living out his cards. But let me show you something about cards. You can be living out your cards totally in one area of your life and totally not living out your cards in another area of your life. Y'all know that's true, right? We are so complicated as human beings. We're very complicated. We're very complicated. We're very complicated. But within that complication, don't give you no excuse to be a dickhole and to talk shit to black people. And to use black people as a canvas. Kevin wants to be loved. If anybody knew him, that's his objective. He wants to be loved. But he's such a natural businessman. He's capitalizing of it. One thing I'll say about Kevin Hart, even though he still is looking for those emotional needs to get filled, he's totally living out his cards on the highest level on the other end. He's using his business acumen by saying whatever he thinks needs to be said to Jack of Diamonds, get whatever you want. Jack of Diamonds is a teenage card. That's a card of immaturity, that's a jokester prankster card. And he has it in Jupiter. So that's expansive. Him having a Jack of Diamonds in Jupiter is one of the major reasons why he's so goddamn funny. The Jack of Diamonds is a card of the jokester. That's the court jester, the Jack of Diamonds. That's the real jester. Always fucking around. And he has it in Jupiter. So he has expansive amounts of fuckery to offer. But that's so is life. Profound and profane. We all living here. We all here playing out our cards. Oh my God. My chat room ain't shit. This nigga said dwarf broken. This nigga Bismarck T said Kevin Hart is dwarf broken. Come on, man. You niggas are stupid. And niggas that still be using the bizarre joke are the same niggas that need to wait till 2 p.m. to realize it's daytime. How slow are you to the party? Anyway, I stayed on here a little longer than I thought I would. I appreciate y'all for listening. Go back and listen if you came in late. Larry dropped some gems. I had my man Malcolm Hall, Cheap Not Broke. He dropped some gems. Get your readings at breakthroughcards.com. Breakthroughcardology.com. All goes to the same, back to the same address. If you can't find it, go to DewanB.com and click on the business side. But Kevin and all celebrities out there using black society and the hood, quote unquote, as an example to make yourself seem smart or acceptable, those days are over. It's done. I appreciate y'all for listening. And remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I'm out.